It's already going, right? All right, how's it going, guys? This is Dylan here with Mancrafts. If you didn't know this, I'm actually Laura's son. Today we've got Zach behind the camera, and I'm going to be making the coolest thing ever, Harry Potter themed indoor cornhole boards. The plan is to take this sheet of plywood and cut 4 circular holes, right? Maybe square, who knows? And we're going to put fabric over the top that's Harry Potter themed. We're going to have each different, what are they called?
House.
Each different house as a quadrant. I think it's going to turn out to be really fun. But other than that, it's going to be super simple. I just have some scrap wood from around the house. So I've got a piece of plywood, I think it's about 1/4 inch. And then I've got one 2x4, and that's all I'm going to use. I'm only going to need to make one board because it's the way the game is. You'll understand. You'll see. So let's get to it. We're going to get some action shots of me cutting up this wood and see how it goes. All right, so our wood is cut. We got 4 pieces. If you want the measurements, they are actually right here. So we've got 2 13-inch 2x4 pieces, and we've got 2 23-inch 2x4 pieces. So you got to account for the thickness of the 2x4 itself when you're going into this. So basically what I'm going to do is just build my frame real quick. All right, so now I just want to check and see if my plywood fits on top, which it does. It's the same size. I got my measurements right. You always want to check just in case. And then, so from here, I just got to screw this together. And my choice of screws were 1 3/4 inch star bit construction screws, but that's just what we had laying around. To be quite honest, you could use nails, you could use a nail gun, you could use really anything, and this is going to hold together. You could use wood glue if you wanted to with some clamps, but I'm using screws. So I'm going to go ahead and start screwing this together. And I hope Zach can get it on. Frame is put together. It's pretty sturdy. Now what's next is I wanted to mark this off into 4 quadrants, which I did. And then I went ahead and realized that it would probably be easier just to use this on the other side. So I used a mason jar lid. I don't know what I did with it, but I put the mason jar lid up into the corner and then just went ahead and traced it. That way each hole is the same size. Now the hard part is to drill out these holes. I'm going to get Zach to show you the close-up of how I do it. All right. So we're going to start by just drilling a hole in the center of each of these 4 circles. All right, so we've got our 4 holes drilled. Next step is to flip it over. We're gonna have these holes on top. This, mainly the reason I did this is so that I'm making sure that the holes are gonna be inside of the 2x4s, because if we were to go and drill the holes on top, we were to start drilling into those 2x4s, it's gonna take you forever to get that hole drilled. So now with this, I'm gonna retrace those circles I had on the bottom. I'm gonna do it on the top. I'm just gonna reuse my mason jar and make those circles. All right, so I went ahead and drilled a hole right in the top of this mason jar with the same drill bit that I used for these. It's actually a wood and metal drill bit, lucky me. So the goal here is to retrace those circles that I have drawn on the other side back on this top side. So what I'm doing is I'm just lining up those 2 holes I can actually see through, and then I'm gonna trace this mason jar lid. We're going to repeat that step on all 4 corners. Alrighty, there are our circles. Now is the fun part. I'm going to show you how we're going to drill them out. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to create. This is how I'm doing it. So I'm going to go around all 4 of these and do holes just like that, about 1/2 inch apart. And we're going to have holes all the way around. And then next step is going to be take a saw and cut it out. And all right, so we have our holes drilled out, and I spaced them out like 1/2 inch, like I said before. And really all these are relief cuts because I didn't have a hole saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a multi-tool. You could use a hand saw, a jigsaw, whatever you want. There's a whole bunch of different options here. But what I have is a multi-tool, and I like these things. And I'm just going to cut between these cuts. All right, so we got our holes cut out, and it was pretty easy. The only thing that I have as a complaint right now for this is it's just not perfectly circular. I don't want to get it perfect, but better than this would be ideal. So I'm just going to take a sander and kind of get these edges a little smoother and get off some of the excess wood to make the hole more circular. We don't have the right size thing, but that's fine. It's all good. That's much better. All right, I'm gonna hit up the rest of these and I'll check back in with you guys.
Hey guys, so Dylan and Zachary have built the structure for this game and they've brought me in to do the sewing. They asked me if I would sew the cover for the top, so I'm gonna use this support foam stabilizer from Fairfield World because that's gonna make it have a kind of a cushiony soft so that if you're playing indoors, it's not loud and doesn't make a thud noise and it doesn't like send your beanbag sliding everywhere. I'm gonna cover it with the 4 colors of felt for the houses in Hogwarts. And then I'm gonna use some of this really cute Harry Potter fabric from Joann Fabrics to stuff with the PolyPellets to make beanbags. And I'm also gonna use Fairfield World has an ollie fun that's like an iridescent. And I think it's right over, let me reach over here and get it right here. I cut out 2 little wings because this is going to be a beanbag. Wait for it, are you ready? It's gonna be a snitch. There's gonna be an element to this game, I don't really know how to play yet. I'm gonna have to learn, where the snitch is gonna be like worth extra points or something. Or maybe if you get the snitch, you win. I don't know, I think that's in Harry Potter really. If you catch the snitch, you win. So anyway, I am going to get to work sewing all the components and get them what they need so they can finish up this game for you guys.
All right, so we're back, and Laura has got the felt all ready to go. This is some Fairfield World foam. It's called support foam. Support foam. Wow, that's a mouthful. But this is awesome for what we're going for, where we're going to be able to cushion the sound of these beanbags smacking. So when we're playing inside, it's not going to be like a big thud, like as if you were playing cornhole outside. So the next step, I'm just going to take this felt that Laura has made, I'm going to put it on top, cut the holes out, and we'll be good to go.